You saw this. You saw Kamala Harris going out code shifting, using one accent, one place, one another. Someone said that she was becoming, what was that, that fake rooster. It's not a fake rooster. This is Detroit girl. This is Detroit black girl. This is Detroit brat girl. That's the affectation she's trying to pull off. And I saw a commentator on MSNBC say, why does this matter? Why is anyone paying attention to this? Voters don't care about these things. In fact, Peter Doocy asked the spokesliar in the White House about this. Why is she doing this? Why is she pretending to be Southern when she's in the South? Why is she pulling off this foghorn leghorn thing when she's in Detroit? And the spokesliar pretended to not understand the question, not understand why he was focused on this. This, of course, we've all seen.
You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time. Because what we know.
Yeah. No, she did. Oh, yeah, she did. Obviously, it's rank code shifting. So why am I talking about this in relation to trains? Because the thing is never the thing. Chris Bray created that formulation, and he's right. The thing is never the thing. The choo-choo trains are not about moving people around. They're about many things, but not moving people, because the thing is never the thing. I'll break this down in a second. For you, the thing about keeping your weight loss that you've had during the summer may not be the thing. Yep, there is continuing to be careful about what you eat, continuing to exercise, and to hopefully have fun doing it, continuing to limit, if not eliminate, sugars from your diet. All that helps. There's a trick I've learned in the some 200 pounds of fat I've lost in my life, and this has been over the past 2 years. It's about making sure that I get every single ounce of nutrients from the food I eat. And one of the best ways to maintain fat loss and not lose muscle is for you to do that. So I'm thrilled to be able to talk with you about Mass Seams, a product I've used for 2 years, but only now getting permission to talk about with you. It was 243 experiments that Bioptimizers, Wade and Matt, did before they got happy with this product, happy enough to release it commercially. It's the result of a study as well. They put it out to the Birch International University in Bosnia, and they did a protein test. What they learned was that proteins combined with Mass Seams released a staggering 1,200% more amino acids compared with the digestive system alone. Aminos and blockchain aminos are the building blocks of life and muscle. Muscle equals more fat staying off. This also leads to better digestive comfort, no bloating, and speeds up the metabolism. That's how I feel about it. You can take action now. Go to bioptimizers.com/Todd to get your bottle of Mass Seams with 10% off. Don't let poor digestion hold you back from reaching your full potential. Go to bioptimizers.com/Todd to start your journey to better health today. If you look at this image, if you're on the video service, if not in the audio, I'll describe it. It's Mayor Pete. We're working on the future of America's passenger rail system, funding high-speed rail projects in the West and expanding service for communities across the country. Get your ticket to ride. There it is, crisscrossing the United States. Choo-choo trains, some built, some to be built. All of them ridiculous and duplicative. All of them will be longer rides, probably for more money than airplanes, or maybe even for driving. Why? The focus on this is various and many, but let's start with some of the most obvious. They hate our personal mobility. They intend to limit our personal mobility. Electric cars are part of that. All new cars come with the ability to be tracked. The government is pushing for off switches in these so they can be turned off. Remember, they tried to get Elon Musk to do that in Russia, to just turn off all the Teslas, and he, to his credit, refused. Because he's not going to make his company a tool of warfare. In that case, maybe not at all. They hate our mobility. They want us to be shipped around in tidy little boxes. So that's part of this. The other part of it is flat graft. It's theft. Where choo-choo trains go, land is stolen. It's stolen by eminent domain. We don't need these trains. There are highways and freeways that service all of these corridors. There are airplane service through all of these corridors to all of these cities. I just booked a flight to Tupelo, Mississippi. Yeah, I got to do a puddle hop at the end, but I'm getting there, and I'm getting there in pretty good time. Mayor Pete's map is a map of how they intend to go through and seize land. When they seize the land for eminent domain, they turn around and they sell it for many, many times what it was ever worth. There's a great instance of this in Seattle. A guy owns a parking lot right across from the airport. He's an entrepreneur. He was, the inventor of Red Robin and one of the other brands, Salties. Salties is regionally, you wouldn't know this. Red Robin, I think, is around the West. If you've been in the West Coast, you've eaten probably at a Red Robin if you like hamburgers. So he invented that company and the other. Very successful guy. He invested some money in real estate. He owned a parking lot across the street from the airport. And when they came in to put in a choo-choo train, light rail, they seized his property. First, they came to buy it using straw buyers, which is, by the way, usually illegal. They were not going to release who they were, so he wouldn't know how much money they had. He didn't want to sell, even through the straw buyers. So they came and applied pressure. We'll use eminent domain and we'll take it away from you. So he had to sell. But he did an investigation on the back end and found out all the laws they'd broken. They bought that property against his will, and then they parked equipment there. That's all they used it for. They turned around and sold it after they'd parked equipment there. They didn't need to tear it down. They didn't need to change it. They sold it. Guess what it's used for? A parking lot. They stole his parking lot and gave it dimes on the dollar to a company, an entity, to run a parking lot. A mobbed up entity. See, the thing is never the thing. This is a money grab just as much as it is in everything, and it's a mobility grab. And it reeks a bit, well, like socialism, but the new kind, the China model. It's not necessarily owning the means of production. It's, in fact, becoming partners in the means of production. It's not so much communism or socialism as it is the literal example of fascism. And people who have lived under systems like this, like in North Korea, know what they're talking about.
Tyranny always comes in the name of compassion and equality of outcomes. When I was at Columbia, they are brainwashing my classmates saying education should be free. Healthcare is a human right. How unfair is it that there are billionaires and there are homeless people? It should be we are all equal. This same idea began the living hell of North Korea. When Kim Il-sung came to my grandmothers and my grandfather, he said this to exacting to us. How unfair is that they are landowners, they are capitalists. And how unfair is that your children cannot be educated, you need to pay for it. If you give me the power, Kim Il-sung said, I'm going to make everything free. Government was going to provide everything for us. If we just gave up our private property, our freedom of speech, our freedom of movement.
Our freedom of movement. Our private property. Why do they love choo-choo trains? Because it lets them do all the above, all while making sure it's for our convenience.